We have a lot of family members, business members, even some of the most successful business owners in Djibouti all hail from Somaliland. So happy Independence Day to them as well, 43rd year. So if we get into SLPA, the SLPA is short for the Somaliland Professionals Association of America. We were launched back in April of 2019, and we really did a need assessment. Okay, is this an organization that's needed? Are there organizations similar here in the US? And surprisingly, at the time, there weren't. One thing we realized is a lot of Somaliland organizations in the US have done great work, but one issue is the lack of longevity. Some of you may remember we had Somaliland Forum back in the 90s, early 2000s, SOPRI as well, Somaliland, I think it was Policy Reconstruction Institute. Those are really the bread and butter for Somaliland professional type of organizations in the US. So I wanted to kind of do something similar, but put more of a focus on the youth, which make up a large percent of our Somaliland population here in the US. So besides that, we also wanted to create a platform, a space for them to network, to collaborate, mentorship, which is also very important in some of our major cities such as Minneapolis, Ohio, Seattle, Washington, to provide mentorship for some of the youth as well, and ultimately to exchange ideas on some of the most pressing issues facing our communities here in the US and ultimately in Somaliland. We are glad to announce today we are 300 members strong, 300 registered members across many professional industries and sectors, all across 29 of the 50 states. So we're looking forward to see who's going to be our 30th state soon. Maybe this week we'll be able to reach that goal. So our goal pretty much here is to bring the brightest minds in Somaliland, Somaliland American community together. And I believe we've been successful so far. We have health professionals, engineers, we have IT professionals, lawyers, doctors, finance, really all sectors. So really hope that this could be a continued effort, something we'll all work together. And then if we talk about the committee, so the committee right now we have is 5 of us who came together about late 2018, right before our launch. And we have myself, we have Faiza Ali based in the DC area, who's also a public health professional. We have Yasin Abdi, who's also in the DC area, who's a policy and IT professional. We have Rahma Usman, who's also in the Seattle area, a senior consultant, and Idil Yusuf, who's in San Francisco area, who's also a health professional as well. So we came really together out of goodwill to spend our free time to push some of the SLPA initiatives forward, to help our communities here in the US and ultimately back in Somaliland. And we'll discuss ways today, ways that we can all contribute, ways that we can give back, get involved, and discuss that in a bit. So if you look at our mission and vision, so if you pull up our slides here, Faiza, if you go to the mission and vision, I want to work closely with the Somaliland Mission in DC to bring together the Somaliland American community. Bashir God has been very helpful. I want to thank him for all his efforts and working with us and pushing some of our initiatives forward. Also want to give a shout out to Rashid Vadif as well, initially who helped us as well, both doing great work for the community. We also wanted to host annual and semi-annual events to similarly foster breakthrough ideas. So realize that now because of COVID, we aren't able to actually have events. So we wanted to continue to do things online, utilizing technology such as Zoom, WebEx, and also Instagram. So that's a few things we've been working on. We also want to initiate and support self-sustaining projects in Somaliland. So last year, and we'll get into that in a bit, but we actually raised funds for Buddha Academy, which was, I believe, the second STEM school after Abarso, who really worked on, providing education to the less fortunate in the Togdera region. Very similar model to Abarso, but based in Togdera, so they're doing very good. I believe they have reached a certain level of equity, have a lot of female students now as well, and really providing that STEM-focused education. We also wanted to promote Somaliland's long history and its right to self-determination. That's a big thing here in the US. We can really tackle on that front simply due to the fact that we have a lot of resources, and US is a big area for diplomacy, and Bashir Goth will get into that with us as well. So I'm going to go to the next slide. So we'll get back to June 26th, but if we talk about some of our things, some of our goals as an organization. So any organization, we really want it to be goal-oriented. We want this to be something where we can measure our success and continue to grow in areas where we see fit. So, some of our accomplishments for year one, when we assessed, we're able to host our SLPA launch conference via Zoom, April 2019. We're able to host 5 coffee meetups in areas where we had strong membership, such as Washington, D.C., Columbus, Ohio, Minneapolis, San Francisco, and Seattle. As I mentioned before, we had the fundraiser for Buddha Academy. And then also we took part in a Somaliland Development Conference in New York last year, where we had 30 of our members come across from different states to take part in panel discussions, get to know one another, and really spend time with the Abaso alumni. We also introduced last year summer internships and volunteer programs, and we'll discuss that in further detail in some of our discussions this afternoon when we talk about ways to contribute back home, ways that Somaliland Americans contribute back home. We also made partnerships with Somaliland organizations across the US. And one thing we really stress is we're an umbrella organization. So we really like to help, any Somaliland organization that's doing positive work in the US, collaborate with them, work with them, provide them the necessary resources for them to grow. So we've made partnerships with the US, Canada, Canadian Somaliland Affairs Committee, we work very closely with them. Europe, today we have Hamza, and then we also have a group, Somaliland professionals in the UK. And then also Somaliland, I believe we have Khadra here from Harhub, which is an innovation hub in Hargeisa. We work very close with her as well. So that was pretty much for 2019. And if we focus now 2020, we all know COVID-19 has been very tough, being able to get things going, everything's shut down. Many of us are working from home. So we worked closely with Slpa, which was really spearheaded by our ambassador, Bashir God, and Somaliland doctors based all across the US. And we were able to help them with COVID-19 relief efforts. So a lot of you today may have donated, may have contributed your time, may have shared it on social media. And they were able to successfully raise $100,000 to purchase medical equipment for hospitals in all 6 Somaliland regions. So we're able to share some of the resources by providing some of our medical professionals from our membership database, and also some of our technical experts to help them on that front as well. So many thanks to Slpa, many thanks to Amud Foundation, who also contributed, and all of our members at SLPA who took part in that. We were able to host a May 18th event. Many of you might have took part. That was on Instagram Live with the US Somaliland community, namely Bashir God, some of our SLPA members discussing COVID-19 issues here in the US, also in Somaliland, and some further intellectual discourse around the history of May 18th. And the following weekend, Faiza and Idil were really, leading our entertainment front. They were able to bring on DJ Subair, which a lot of you might have heard of, and that was something fun, lively that we took part in via Instagram Live on Eid. And then now today we have our first town hall, June 26th, to discuss some pressing issues. We'll get into the dialogue very shortly. And then lastly, many thanks to Abdi Samit Artan, who's with us today, one of our members in Texas, who reached out to us to discuss some things around op-eds, analytical op-eds. So really looking at some of the most pressing issues in Somaliland, and ways where some of our professionals who are subject matter experts, industry professionals, experts that can provide solutions to some of those issues. And we'll also discuss that later. Water is a big issue. I believe also energy, agriculture, and many different topics where we can provide our expertise in. So once COVID-19 clears up and businesses open back up, we plan to continue our coffee meetups. So that's something we look forward to. As you all know, we are a member-led organization. So if you guys have any initiatives, any ideas, reach out to us, and we are more than willing to work with you. So I don't really want to talk too much. I want us to really get into the discussion and dialogue today. Marka and waxaan kusoo dhaweyn doonaa Saadatul Safir, Bashir God. Welcome.
Isaaq, aad baad mahadsan tahay, iyo adiga iyo teamka SLPA dhammaantiinba. waxaa muuqata inaad hawl aad iyo aad culus aad qabateen sanadkiina soo dhaafay, anaad si fiican u koraysaan, himiladiina aad garanaysaan, yoolka aad ku socotaan yoolka marka la yiraahdo Soomaaliga yoolka waxa weeye Ingiriisiga waa destinationka you know your destination you know where you are going taasina waxay tusaysaa inaad magarasa dariiq toosan oo fiican aad ku socotaan and that's really good anu aad baan ugu faraxsanahay ilaa maalintii aad bilowdeen ilaa maantana waan idinla socday hareerahan idinkala socday maraan inta dhowr goor waynu isku nimi marka aad bilowga ahaydeen waynu wada hufnay ilaa maantana si fiican baad wax u wadaan waxaan rajaynayaa haddaad sida dariiqa kusii joogtaan oo aad ereygii aad tidhi quruxda badnaa maahmaada Soomaaliyeed ahayd oo ahaa gacmad wadajir bay wax ku gooyaan aad sidaasi wadajirkiina iyo organizationkiina iyo planningkiina iyo strategizingkiina aad saa ku shaqaysaan inaad meel fiican gaari doontaan halka inta aan ku dhaafo waxaan aad idinku mahadnaqayaa inaad 18 May qabateen oo aynu ku dabaaldegnay halkan COVID-ka awgeed maantana aan halkan haddana iskugu nimi inaynu haddana u dabaaldegno idinkuna aad warbixin siisaan laakiin aan u dabaaldegno haddana 26ka June oo ahayd shalay oo ahayd 60 guuradii gobonimada Somaliland haddaba inta uga yar gudbo iyada lafteeda waxa weeye shalayto waxay ahayd 60 guuradii waxay 26 June maalintii Somaliland gobonimada ka qaadatay boqortooyadii Ingiriiska ee aynu ka baxnay statuskii ahaa maxamiyadda ama protectorate-ka aynu ka baxnay 76 sanadood ayuu Ingiriisku dalkeena joogay marka laga soo bilaabo 1884 ilaa 1960 waxa weeye 76 years buu joogay waxa ka dambeysay markaasi inaynu isku biiro Soomaalidii Talyaanigu gumaysanayay oo iyaguna 1 July gobonimada qaatay halkaana markaa midnimada waxaynu ku jiray 30 sano marka la isku daro labadaas waa 106 sano
هذا خدك كاي وكا
qabtaa 106 sano wixii la qabtay wixii noo qabsoomay ama 106 sano wixii wadankeena laga qabtay ama u qabsoomay iyo 30kii sano ka dambeeyay 91kii wixii la qabtay marka la isku eego farq aad iyo aad weyn baa u dhaxeeya horta gumaysigii wadankeena waxba uma qaban labahantii waxaan ahayd dhowr iskuul ugu dambeyntii waliba markii la kala yaacayay uu dhisay wuxuu meeshaba u haystay kaliya in ciidamadiisii saldhigiisii cadmeed ciidamadiisa cadan ay u ahayd meel garanaysa backyard ah oo hilibka uga soo qaado wada xooliheenii faraha badnaa hilibkaasoo awal laga kari jiray Australia oo freezers la soo gali jiray shipping lagu soo sameyn jiray uu halkan ka helay intaasoo bay ujeedadiisa ugu weyn ahayd uu Somaliland marka horeba u degay gaar ahaan xeebaha ayuu ka degay gudaha iyo wadanka interiorka waxa uu soo dhaadhiciyay dagaalkii uu la galay maxamed cabdullaahi xasan iyo daraawiishtii ayaa gudaha u soo dhaadhiciyay labahantii marka taas aad garanaysaa in gumaysigii Afrika soo maray kale wadamada kale Afrikaanku aad u gumaystay qaarkood jaarkeena Kenya oo kale Uganda oo kale wadamadaas oo kale iyo ilaa kuwa ka sii sheeya waxa way wadamo u degay bay ahayd u degaanshahan u degay uu doonayo islaha weligaaba waad joogi doontaa markii wixii uu horumar ka sameyn karayay uu ka sameeyay laakiin dalkeena waxba horumar kama sameeyay 30kii sano midnimada lagu jirayna dhab ahaantii wax alla waxay noo suurta gashay oo horumara intii madaxweynuhu shalay khudbadiisa ku tirnay oo aad u kooban ayaa ka dhacday marka 30kii sano imika waliba aan u haysanay inaynu nahay dawlad aan ictiraafaysan adduunka haddana 30ka sano dadkeena waxay qabsadeen waa mid aad u muuqata oo aan indhaha garsa la iska indhatiri karin dhab ahaantii xagga haddii la eego developmentka xagga businesska xagga socialka waxbarashada ama caafimaadka waxyaabo badan baa la qabtay oo ummadeenu qabsatay taasi hadday inoogu biirto inay noqono dad adduunka ka tirsan oo United Nations ku jira waad garan karaysaan markaasi 30ka sano ee 30ka ku xiga halka la gaari karayo sida maamada aad sheegtay saaqo ayay tahay gacmo wadajir ayay wax ku gooyaan marka dadkeenu wadajir bay halka maanta ay ku gaadheen yaani hadal ku dheeraan su'aalo badan baa iman doona aan uga gudbi doonaa waxaan u soo gudbi doonaa kaalinta dhalinyarada ku jirtay ajandihiina dhalinyaradu waa critical waa la yidhahdaa had iyo jeer ereygaasi oo cliché oo kale u ekaaday laakiin runtu waxa weeye waddan walba adduunka dhalinyaradu waa critical gobonnimadeena haddaan dib ugu noqono dadkii dhaqdhaqaaqa gobonnimada bilaabay dhalinyar bay badnaayeen waa critical timekii bay yimaadeen waa dadkii energyga haya waa dadka markaasi dadkii fahmayey gumaysigii lagu hoos baxayay luqadiisa iyo nidaamkiisa iyo administrationkiisa fahmayey la jaan qaadi karayay ayay ahaayeen marka dhalinyaradii baa bilowday dhaqdhaqaaqa dabcan dadku way ku wada jireen oo gobonnimada lama heleen haddii aan la wada qaadin oon la iskugu iman yar iyo weyn rag iyo haween haddaan la isku wada iman may dhalateen wax walba mashruuc waloo la galaa waa sidaasi laakiin had iyo jeer energyga wuxuu ka yimaadaa dhinaca dhalinyarada adduunkana waad aragteen meel walba la eegaba dhinaca dhalinyarada ayuu energygu ka yimaadaa dhalinyarada markaas sidee loo mobilize garayn lahaa sidee energygooga looga faa'iidaysan lahaa sidee loo engage garayn lahaa su-aalahaas had iyo jeer soo noqnoqdo laga yaabaa inaynu maanta ka wada sheekaysano laakiin aynu hortayda aan idin idhaahdo hambalyo dhammaanteenba idinka dhalinyarada Somaliland iyo dadka Somaliland dhammaantoodba hambalyo aan idhaahdo gobonnimadii Somaliland ee 60kii ka soo wareegtay maanta 60 sano ay ka soo wareegtay hambalyo aan idhaahdo intiina dual nationality-ga haysatay reer Djibouti-na aan idinkana idhaahdo hambalyo marka intaasaan kaga baxaya hadalkii intiisii hore
waa si wanaagsan adeer waanu sii gudbin doonaa si fiican baad noogu faahfaahisay jazakallahu khayr dad badani koley waxay odhanayaan 30kii sano ugu dambeeyey 1990kii markaan xorriyadda dib loo soo noqonay ilaa maanta wixii ugu waaweynaa ee qabsoomay maxaad odhan lahayd ood la wadaagi lahayd maanta ururkeena
waxa ugu weyn ee qarsoomay dhab ahaantii ood idinkuba wada ogtihiin meel walba adduunka lagu ogyahay waxa weeye waddan hoog iyo burbur iyo dhibaato ka soo baxay oo halkii ugu hooseeyay nolosha gaadhay oo wixii infrastructure iyo daar iyo dhisnaa u baaba'ay ummadii ay qaxooti noqotay intii hadhay joogtay xataa civil war ka dhex dhacay marka la soo noqday waad garanaysaan waddankaas siduu eg yahay marka halkaa marka ground zero laga soo bilaabay waxa ugu weyna dadku qabsaday waxa weeye inay horta nabad samaysteen waa nabadii la sugay in amnigii dalka in la sugay way labada markaad hesho ayaad nolosha kale ka fikiri kartaa inaad shaqaysato ka fikiri kartaa inaad dhakhtar yeelato inaad iskuul dhisato haddaanad labada ahayn midda ku suurtoobayso marka labadaasi markay dhacday bay suurtooday intii kale marka maanta waynu ognahay intay doontaba ahaato waxa weeye marka relatively loo eego wadamada afrikaanka ah weliba adduunka ictiraaf ka haysta waxyaaba badan oo aynu qabsanay baa jira oo ay ka mid tahay waxbarashada oo aad idinku ogtihiin oo halkan laga yaabo maanta qaarkiin inay ku jiraan Somaliland wax ku soo bartay dabeetana adduunka lana soo tagay dabeetana dib ugu noqday inay jiraan waxaad ogtihiin jaamacadaha waddan ka dhisan oo aad iyo aad u badan oo aynan hore u lahayn anigu waxaan ka mid ahaa dadkii dhalinyaradii jaamacadaha xamar u tegey because waxa weeye ma lahayn Somaliland jaamacad ma lahayn wax high school ka badan ma lahayn marka wax kasto passport waxa loo doonan jiray muqdisho loo doonan jiray waxaan garanayaa dhammaantii waa anoo muqdisho jooga ayaa nin reer miyiga oo beeraley ah ayaa yimi muqdisho markaas war maxaa meesha ku keenay wuxuu yidhi cagaf bay ka jabto birtii cagafta ee spearka ahayd baan xamar soo doortay ilaa halkaasii tagnay maantana wax walba waddanka way yaalaantay marka inaan taasi sharxamo oo wada garanaysan dhammaantii wixii la qabsaday nabadda marka laga yimaado horumar fara badan oo xagga waxbarashada ah xagga baac mushtarka ah xagga technology-ga IT-ga marka maanta la eego ayaa waddanka samaysnay waan deedii shaxeynayno idinku waad wada aragteen
aad iyo aad baad u mahadsantahay jazakallahu khayr sidaa wanaagsan lagu faahfaahisay waqtiga ogeed waxaan ugu wareejin doonaa Fiza if you want to lead the rest of the discussion more of our discourse today so تفضل Fiza suru
okay thank you so much and thank you so much Ambassador for the great history lesson. I know a lot of us who are on the younger side don't know a lot about our history because we weren't we weren't alive at that time. So it's great to get a yearly reminder on the importance of these dates. So again, thank you so much. And I wanted to kind of tailor the conversation into like, how can professionals contribute to the advancement of Somaliland? For example, for a lot of the ventures and a lot of the opportunities that I get, I always relate it back to Somaliland. Like, how can I use this to enhance the statehood of Somaliland, or the development or the healthcare of Somaliland. So here I kind of highlighted some areas that professionals can contribute, because we are a new nation and we want to enhance some of these sectors. So for example, the agriculture sector, we're shooting for the moon. So aerospace, pharmaceuticals, to make sure that any drugs that are coming into our nation is well regulated, because it can impact the healthcare. Education is key to really making sure the next generation has very great skills. So so we don't want to talk. We didn't want to have this for our committee members to be talking to you guys. So we wanted to engage with our members and ask you, how can professionals contribute to Somaliland? So what are some changes you would like to see within Somaliland?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Horta aan laba u kala qaado. waxa weeye mid waa dadkii intiina professionalskiina waddanka dibadiisa jooga Mareykanka jooga oo kale qaarna waxa weeye professionalska ama skilled young people ka jooga waddanka gudihiisa labadaan kala qaado waa laba door bad kala yeelan kartaan isku door wada yeelan kartaan laakiin due to the proximity of the country ama dee joogitaanka waddanka joogaan iyagu ayaa waxyaabo badan idinka fara dhuubnaan karaan marka waxa weeye horta waa inaad dhalinyar ahaan idinku isweydiisaan doorkan qaadan karaa muxuu yahay maxaa doonaa inaan samayno qof walba area uu leeyahay area aan idin baahnayn ma jirto area walba qofka dhalinyarada way u baahan tahay iyo skillkiisa hadday tahay innovationka hadday tahay developmentka hadday tahay activismka oo human rights activism hadday tahay community development hadday tahay education hadday tahay health dhinac aan qofka Somalilanderka dhinac u door maxaadee dhalinyarada aan skillkiisa iyo energygiisa u baahnayn ma jirto meel boo baahan tahay marka horta qofku marka isagu weyn isweydiiyaa aniga areadeedu waa maxaan expertise leeyahay halkeen ku contribute garan karaa then markuu inta isla garto intii marka isku area inta isku tagto ay yiraahdaan intaani dawladda u tagin ama cid kale ba u tagin what can we do as young people who have expertise in this area? What can we really do? What can we contribute? Inta marka isla gartaan ay samaystaan vision kooga iyo approach kay arta samayn lahaayeen then they can go to the relevant organization and institutions, whether it's governmental institutions or private institutions. Dabeta ay u tagaan yiraahdaan we are young Somaliland professionals area baan nagu haysanaa ku fiican nahay we can contribute in that area. idinku haysta proposalkiini wixii aad soo samayseen saad u samayn lahaydeen innovation ka haysteen everything inaad ka sugtaan maaha idinku cid inay idin yeedho marti kuma idin waddanka ama de meel walba intaad idinku samaysataan wixiina inaad dibatina idinku iib geysaan wixiini oo ka iib geysaan ama private sector-ka ama dawladda midna weyn ogsoonaana oo had iyo jeer dhalinyaradu aan jecelahay inay ogsoonaata dhab ahaantii oo haataan aware u haataan waddankeenu inaad ogaataan way waa waddan wali u halgamaya u dagaalamaya inuu xorriyadiisa rasmi ah qaato dabcan dalkeeni baynu joognaa xorriyadeena waynu haysanaa laakiin ilaa aan ictiraaf helayno wali xorriyadeeni waxba ka dhiman marka waxaynu nahay dal wali u dagaalamaya xorriyadiisii marka barbar dhigina Mareykan oo kale ama meel kale waaweyn ama wadano kale Afrikaan oo garanaysa South Africa oo kale ah inaad barbar dhigtaan oo tidhaahdaan oo waddankaasi way dhalinyaradiisi waxaas uu qabanay maxay tahay ugu qaban weyday maaha way war eegta marxaladda aad joogto waxaad ka soo qaaday example fiican siiyo haddii adigoo arday ah aad ka timid family danyar waxaan uga jeedaa low income ah dad ka timid danyar ah oo iskuulka ilmahaasi tago oo arko caruur ka timid xaafado wax haysta oo family-goodu wax haystaan oo dibadda markuu guriga ku soo noqdo yiraahdo aabba iyo hooyo maxaa aniga PlayStation leegu iimi waay maxaa iPhone-kii ugu dambeeyay leegu iimi waay maxaa ilmihiina uu odhanaya because waxa weeye wuxuu arkaya kuwii kaloo age groupkiisa waxa haystaa laakiin ma oga magaranaysaa income-ka waalidkiisa iyo halkay taagan yihiin economically ma oga marka taasaan uga jeeda waa inaan ogaanaa dalkeenu halkuu taagan yahay waxaad u qaban kartaan idinku inaad halkaa aan rabnay idinku gaadhsiin kartaan sidii uu Kennedy uu yidhi ha weydiin dalkaaga waxaad uga baahantay laakiin weydiyaad waxaad u qaban karto adigu maxaad u qaban kartaa what can you do for it marka taasaa muhiima marka area aydan contribute garayn karin ma jirto idinka unbay idinku xiran tahay inaad initiative-kana la timaadaan approach-kana la timaadaan iibgeysaana awoodiina iyo energy-giina iyo skill-kiinaba
So I wanted to ask the group if you wanted to unmute and have any suggestions and inputs.
Su'aasha maaniga le mise
group
Okay.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Idil, go ahead.
Go for it.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa'asha Farah, I'm joining you from Seattle, Washington. One of the co-founders of Borough Academy of Science and Technology in the great city of Borough. So I apologize, I'm a little late to the meeting. And I just saw the link this morning and I was struggling for a while. I made every attempt to be on time, but I'm really, really glad to join you today. And I've been out of the loop for a while for various reasons. I want to thank the network and the youth that has been doing everything to organize this effort. I know you been at this effort for a long time and did the first fundraising for Borough Academy a year ago, this last May. And so I never really thank you for that. So thank you. I'm just so inspired by you, by the youth. I think I came here about 36 years ago as a young Somali. So one of the things that I really want to thank Bashir, I didn't hear all of his speech, but I'm so glad to caught some of it. So I want to thank you. I'm so proud of you. And what I wanted to add to this today is that we opened Borough Academy about 4 years ago. And I co-founded this school with 3 other Somalis here in the US, all of them professional Somali Americans. And what really inspired us was, well, first of all, we always knew we wanted to do something for the country and really give back in a way that we thought was tangible and can move the needle. What that entailed, we didn't know. But first, as a young immigrants in this country, we had to establish ourselves and we had to get jobs and we have to really kind of get our own bearing before we contribute. And obviously that led us to the position we are today, which is founding Borough Academy. And so when we were in a position to give back, and Bashir alluded to this earlier, we just wanted to, what was possible for us, for 3 or 4 of us? What was the best way we can contribute while, obviously we in the US, we wanted to make sure that it's something that's doable and something that can move the needle for Somaliland youth. And education was the area we chose. We could have chosen some other discipline, but education is what we chose. And we were inspired by Abarso. So we thought, why reinvent the wheel? Take the same model and take it to this different part of the country. And that's exactly what we did. We opened this school in 2016. And it's not without challenges, but boy, oh boy, has it brought hope and opportunity, however little it is, to the community and inspire not only the local community, but the youth that come to the school and have a place to go to, specifically for the girls to have an opportunity to sit in the classroom without being burdened with, afternoon chores in the household. So education is the area we chose. And so what I wanted to add to what Bashir has already articulated so well is that you have to find your own space. You have to find what would work for you, and based on your ability at this moment. Now, if you are still in school, if you are still building your career, that's fine. But keep in mind, there is a nation that's waiting for you. So it might take you years and years, but you have to put yourself in that position that you're carrying an entire nation on your shoulders. And you might go back, you might mentor the kids in the summer, come back to your comfortable life in the US. You might go to one of the villages. I think Adna said this in the past. Talk to your parents and find out where they're from, and find out if there is a school in that village. So education is what we chose, but what I want to end with is that the challenges are enormous, and no matter where you start, you will have an impact, and no matter how small the steps that you are taking. So thank you. I really appreciate. I want to also take advantage of this opportunity today, and in that we are hiring teachers. We're looking for English as a second language teachers. So if you know a youth that want to go back and give back, come to Borough Academy and give back to your community for about a year, teach English, connect with these kids that are just looking for mentors and role models. So connect with me. We have a few positions open at the school, and I can give you the details. But I'm glad to be here, and it's sorry I was late and kind of rambling on, but I wanted to just at least jump in and say something. So thank you.
Thank you so much. No, it's education is very, very key when it comes to development, mostly for the Borough Academy. So, and I know we worked really diligently with you, and to make sure that we raised funds, and so, but we wanted to push the conversation further. So I was gonna call on Siham. I don't know if she's available to see what changes, what are some changes you would like to see in Somaliland. I don't know if she has her mic on, but she is currently in Somaliland and is working on some health initiatives. So, but if not, then Guled Almi.
I am sorry.
Oh, okay. I see. I'm sorry.
I was just trying to be a mere participant and enjoy the conversation.
No, this is a town hall meeting. So this is definitely like I want to hear everyone's opinion, and in this forum, everyone has a voice. So,
thanks, Lisa. Yeah. So my name is Siham. I am a graduate of Barso, and got lucky to get a scholarship to study in the U.S. and eventually work in New York City for a nonprofit for a year, and I've been back since earlier last year, so almost a year. There's, for you guys who are diaspora, who were either born in the diaspora or grew up in the diaspora, I, as someone who grew up there, see a different, progress or see a different improvement than for someone who grew up in, America or the UK their whole life and visiting Somaliland for the first time as a teenager or, a young professional. So there's tremendous changes that are happening in every sector, for sure. But also to specifically, address the education field and the healthcare field, which are both my interests. Organizations like Barso are greatly, and Borough Academy are greatly contributing to the development of those sectors. And as a young professional, my only wish is that, you know, more people will do what Bur'a Academy did and, you know, replicate these working education systems that Barca developed and have those opportunities extended to other young, you know, Somalilanders who lack that, because at the moment, I think the education system is truly failing our youth.
Mhm.
We always talk about job opportunities and all of that, but for me personally, I think we should start with, you know, we should start somewhere. We should start with foundation, and I think for me that foundation is good education. So as of what I do is I work with the government, which everyone thought was a crazy move to do. They would be like, why would you do that? But I think us as young people who are educated, who got opportunities, need to invest in our country and invest in the best way possible, so that we are making sure that the right steps are being taken for, you know, our generation, but also next generations. And I thought for me personally, joining the government and establishing, you know, starting somewhere small and being a part of building that system was the move. And I think I encourage everyone, actually. I know NGOs seem attractive to a lot of people for, you know, professional growth or maybe the income or whatever. But I think if we want really see a real change in our country, we should invest in our government and make sure that it's a system that could work for everyone, not just some people or, you know, the privileged. But I also, I'm a huge believer of, you know, health education in particular, and believe that especially for young girls, once you empower them with informative education that could, you know, inform them about their personal health or mental health, that could take them somewhere or empower them to some extent to then, you know, look for other opportunities that could further them career-wise. So what I particularly focus with what I do with my trainings for girls is reproductive health and mental health, just to have them have that understanding of themselves, so that they could then care about other issues that are either in their environment or in their families or professional ones. Which another message that I actually like send with what I do is also believing in human resource and believing in collaboration. You know, I think one question, one statement that I get from young people here all the time is, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I don't have a resource, or I don't have, you know, a financial support from, you know, anyone. And with what I do, I have very little financial support, but I found a great network of people like Dr. Chama who have access to facility, and I myself had the knowledge that I could spare. So in a way also, you know, teaching young people that you can innovate if you want to, you know, contribute to your community. You don't need UNFPA or you don't need big companies standing behind you to do your small contributions. And you might reach, you know, 20 girls this 6 months, but you know, then you could build on that, and those 20 girls can also reach other 20 girls. So that was also one of the reasons I wanted to do what I do, to just show our young people that yes, you could do a lot with very little resources, by collaborating with others and believing in human resource, which is amazing. Yeah, but one thing I would encourage young professionals of, you know, Somaliland, wherever they are, is to start somewhere small. You know, we all want to do great things and we want to, you know, give back in a big way, but sometimes starting small is what you need to do. Maybe help one person or help two people. And focus on things that you would see an immediate change, like, you know, educational health, something that you would see the effect that it's having in your community right away. if you're someone who's solution driven like I am, and I like to see change right away. Yeah, so don't think any sort of giving back or change is too small. You know, your people need you every day.
Thank you so much. No, this is that. It was you made a lot of great impact and advice on the topic. So we are going to move along. I see a hand raised, so I'm just gonna preface and say to keep it a little bit short, but if you would, won't mind saying speaking.
That's okay. I'm happy to keep the conversation moving along
Okay.
and to chip in later. Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
perfect.
stick
All
with the
right.
program.
All right, thank you. All right, so the next portion is how can Americans contribute to the development of Somaliland? And we will have Idil present on this topic.
Yeah, so we have some suggestions on the side of different ways that Americans can contribute to the development of Somaliland. So we have op-eds, opinions, writing down your thoughts to share to the masses, contacting government leaders, fundraising, and becoming subject matter experts. And you can do all of these things through SLPA. But I'd love to hear from you guys. What are different things that you do in your personal life or ideas that you've come up with in ways that you can directly contribute to the development of Somaliland? So feel free to unmute yourself if you have any thoughts.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so my name is Gulad Elmi. I live in Boston, Massachusetts. So I was born and raised in Somaliland. I'm here in the US for about 11 years now. So my expertise mainly lie in software development, robotics, electronics. I went back to the country for about 3 times since 2008. And mostly I was observing the technology capacity of the local workforce and the connections or the partnerships between universities and the companies. So I've been trying to kind of give an idea to who is responsible when it comes to the government, whether it's the Ministry of Post and Communications or Research and Technology Ministry. There's some ideas I was trying to convey to them. Mainly is there any strategy for the Somaliland government on how to increase the technical capability of the local workforce? And like our institutions or engineering institutions enough to produce engineers, whether it's electrical engineers or mechanical engineers, that can take Somaliland to the next level. I visited Somaliland, Hargeisa University last time, and I gave a lecture to the computer science students. And after the lecture, I asked them about what are they expecting to do after they graduate. And unfortunately, I didn't get any convincing answers. Most of them didn't know what to do after they graduate. And most of the courses that they were taking, although they were graduating, were mostly entry-level courses in computer science. So I'm really concerned about how the government in Somaliland takes this, the technology or engineering talent seriously. How serious do they take that? And what strategy do they have to produce qualified students who can take over the next level of engineering or technology industry? Yeah, mostly like nurturing the local talent. That's what I was trying to ask the ambassador. Has any idea of how?
Yeah, if I can ask everyone to make sure that they're muted. So that thank you for the input. I think everything that you brought up is very important and crucial. I know Abdusamad wanted to touch on op-eds. Maybe that's a way to kind of put together the research that you've collected of just the education issue. I know for myself, I also did a presentation to some public health students at Barça University, and I was also very appalled by just the job market opportunities for the students, because they were also graduates. We were in similar positions, but they just didn't have any opportunities. They had no next steps. It was just kind of gathering that shahada, and then it's like, what now? What can I do for Somaliland with this degree? If anyone else wants to hop on, feel free if they have any other comments or ideas.
So I had to talk about Guled's question. I wanted to maybe, since we do have somebody in the government on this call, maybe that it would be best to answer that Ambassador Bashir answers that question on how we can what are the appropriate steps. And for example, you talked about you do technology, correct? So I'm not like into that world, but you do a lot of like robotics. So Somaliland, you wanted to do a lot of like engineering initiatives in Somaliland. So how receptive is the government in receiving some of those opportunities, and how can we collaborate with them?
Or at least how can we help?
How can you help? Exactly. Okay. I think waxa ugu fiican inaad horta idinku as an organization aad sidii dawlad oo kale u dhaqataan oo aad kala yarataan idinka qudhiinu sections and areas and departments. oo tirahdaan, for example, SPLA waxay leedahay Department of Education oo la shaqeynaya education sectorka, oo sidaad caashe iyo la shaqeyseen Brown Academy oo kale iyo abaarse iyo aad la shaqeysaan, inaad leedihiin qayb caafimaadka, inaad qayb leedihiin garanaysaa developmentka iyo infrastructureka ah, oo ay soo gali qayb technologyga ay leedihiin oo taa cabtimad weydiinayo kala ah, aad idinku qayb isku qaybisaan. Marka teams yar aad isku qaybisaan, team walbana uu markaa soo urursado dataha wadankii looga baahan yaala, waxa available ka, waxa loo baahan yahay, halkee lagu socdaa, vision-kay leeyihiin qolo walba. Dabeetana idinkoo well equipped ah oo resource-kii haysta oo datihiinii haysta, dabeetana aad markaa deploy garaysaan ciddii markaa meeshaasi technology oo kale ka anfacaysa, healthko kale ka anfacaysa, marka way idin dhib yaraanaysaa. Road map aad haysataan, resource-kii gudaha aad ogtihiin, idinku waxaad resource-kii dib aad ogtihiin, sidaad u deploy garaynaysaa markaa way dhib yaraanaysaa. Ama ha ahaato mission-koo isku keen xidha, ama ha ahaato idinkoo direct contact ba la yeeshee. saas marka waxaan ugu oran lahaa, ku talin lahaa, horta idinku aad noqotaan dawlad yar oo departments-ka kala leh.
Okay, thank you for that response. I know that Jama Musa Jama wanted to also speak.
Assalamu alaikum. Video-ga waan baqtiyay waayo quality connection-kayga ayaa wanaagsaneyn, so I hope inaad codkayga maqlaysaan. Waxaan ahay Jama Muse, waxaan idin kaga soo biiray Hargeysa. Markii hore hal reason baan gacanta u taagay oo aan doonayay tusaale inaan idiin soo qaado shaqada qiimaha badan ee ay Siham Hargeysa ka samaysay. But I didn't know that she was connected, so luckily she came for me. So she told everything that I would have loved to share with you. Lakin laba arrimood baan doonaya inaan taabto. One, shaqada Burca Academy iyo Abaarso ay wadaan now needs the next step. Dhalinyaradii iskuulka ka soo baxaysay Burca Academy, they are ready. And for the first time, we have a young, prepared, brilliant minds. Unfortunately, dhammaantood ma wada iman karayaan oo scholarship dibadda kama wada heli karayaan, whether they are coming from Abaarso or whether they are coming from Burca Academy. But they are really, for the first time, we have young, what we can call people who need a sort of a center of excellence. So what you can do, I think waxyaabaha degdeg loogu baahan yahay, because we need to meet that that new maaragtay baahida cusub soo kordhay ay abuureen labada school mentorship. So that was waxaan doonayay inaan ku xidho shaqadiisii ham ay qabatay practicalka. So I think group can SLP waxyaabaha ay offer garayn karayaan maanta aadna loogu baahan yahay for sure by the next couple of years noqon doona absolutely in a high priority in aidin labada institution dhalinyarada ka soo baxaysa, not necessarily through the institutions, but be ready as Siham has done to select those brilliant minds and give the next step. That's what really tangible thing that you can do. One ogahay grade one maqlay, and it's a real problem marka ay halka yimaadaan dhalinyaradu like you and they want to contribute, they want to go to the ministry or to the university, and then they are disappointed because of they are not well received. You guys don't need to be disappointed. I know you will fail the first time, the second time you will not be meeting the right people, but you have to insist on. And I think we can build a network that's sort of one-stop shop that you are ready to come here and you find to connect to the right people. haddii laakiin aad expect garaysaan inay idin tagtaan ama jaamacadda ama wasaaradda idin tagtaan dabadeedna welcoming roog cas laydin dhigo, don't expect that. Don't be disappointed because of what you are coming here to do. It's much more than that. So you have to be patient and find the right people. We can work together. Luckily, but the network is not only me. There are a lot of people.
I think we're having some technical
people. Siham is one of them. Yeah, so that's one thing. The second, I'm sorry. The first thing, I mentorship kawi, and I hope you are hearing me. The second thing, waxaan eegayay liiskii waxyaabaha professionals Somaliland ay qaban karayaan. One of the area I see that's missing, but I really consider a first priority, is the area of the humanity. We are thinking, all of us technicians, we are thinking of one of the things that we are missing in this society because of what happened is the human resources. And if we don't develop our people, so art, production, performance, creative industry, all those areas we abandon it. And haddii aanaynu theater soo ceshin, I'm sure Ambassador Bashir wuu ifahmaya waxaan ka hadlayo. Haddii aynu weyno oo aynu soo celin weyno way dadkeena maskaxdooda aynu ku korino, creative minds ku abuurno, not computers. No, we don't need robots inaynu create karayno. We need people with humanity who can understand, who can be creative. So I would love to see next time in the area that you can contribute, and I'm sure you can contribute because we understand in art, performance, humanity. Those kind of scholarship is something that's completely missing in our society. And you know the art is what makes the human being humane. If we lose that opportunity, then we will create some robots, and then this society will not grow. So waxaan idinku dari lahaa arrinka hore general mentorshipka dhalinyarada caruurta ka soo baxay Slpa Academy iyo mainly maxaa la yidhahdaa abaarso oo baahi rasmi ah imika qaba because of ma wada helayaan scholarship. Some startups, I know few people are working also with small startups with those young people. Your area that humanities can we chase, no, or don't be on computer. We don't need only robots and people who can raise. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, thank you. Jazakallah khair for that input. And I really do agree the arts is very important in order to just further their minds and in terms of creativity and thinking outside of the box. Just some more housekeeping. Please remember to mute yourself. We want to make sure we're able to hear everyone. And we encourage people to have their cameras on so we can all see you all. Mashallah, we have around 32 people in here, so we'd love to hear everyone's input. I just wanted to touch on some of the comments. We also encourage people to use the chat box. Yassine asked, how can we get in touch with SLPA to share ideas? I believe at the end of the slides, we'll put our contact information, and you can email us. We do have this new initiative that we're starting, which is op-eds, editorial articles that Yassine and Isaac have been working diligently on. So yeah, so if there's any topic or idea that kind of interested you today, or in general, things that you have been thinking about, we encourage you to become a subject matter expert, to do your research and create an op-ed article that inshallah we hope to get published. And so that's something that we are working on and we're excited for. So I think we have another person who wanted to speak. Aden, if you could meet yourself and share your thoughts with us.
Great, assalamu alaikum everyone. Let me put my video on. First of all, really happy to see SLPA putting together another great event, and this time bringing together the youth. As I've been listening to everyone's comments, I think the biggest question for me is, what is the youth's agenda? The Somaliland youth. What is our agenda? What are we trying to bring forward? What do we want to see? I think Ambassador Bashir brought up a great point that we have to organize ourselves. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in the US. I decided to move back to Somaliland to set up an insurance company, South Africa Insurance. It's, as Dr. Jama was saying, it's not easy. We cannot necessarily expect that everything is going to be perfect. We certainly run into our challenges in everything that we do. But all of us, I think, have an expertise that we need to bring to the table and things that we can contribute. I think one way that we can contribute, I think, is that all of us have to be ambassadors, right, for Somaliland. Ambassador Bashir has done a great job since he's been there, but he cannot do it on his own. Everywhere that we go, we have to be ambassadors. To give you guys a quick example, last year I was fortunate enough to be selected for a leadership program in Africa. And I insisted that they put Somaliland. They wanted to put Somalia. I said, I'm sorry, but I cannot attend unless you guys put Somaliland on there and represent the Somaliland flag. And they did. And guess what? Everywhere I went, we met the president of France, we met the president of Ghana. Everyone knew at that point what Somaliland was. For me, it was a small gesture, but I think all of us have the opportunities in wherever room that we are at to be ambassadors for Somaliland, because you never know who's in the room. You never know who will hear the cause. And all of us have contacts that we would be surprised we have. I bet if all of us put our contacts on the table, we could do a lot for the cause of Somaliland. So that's number one. I think we also need to use our networks. I think Dr. Jama brought up a great point to do what we call capacity building. One of the biggest things that we see, we're now in our position, job creators in Somaliland, is the capacity is quite low. I think Siham touched on that as well. I think the education system has failed our youth here, particularly for those of us who have come back and have done sort of a needs assessment. So what can we do to replicate the success of people like Buro Academy, who have done great work, Abarso Tech, who have done great work, and as professionals, connecting ourselves with the local community and the youth to network with them and to mentor them. And then to also give internship opportunities. So we have an insurance company. The reason why we set it up was because no country can succeed without a strong financial system. My background was in insurance. My mother, who started the company with me, was a very well-respected banker and insurance professional. We said, this is expertise, let's give it back to the country. And I think if all of us do that, we can make significant strides. And we have a company that's functioning. We have an opportunity to give internships to people. And we will do our best to do that. So if anybody has people that you want to connect us with, we will certainly do our part. But I think all of us on the call have something to give back. So I would say let's all collectively lobby the cause of Somaliland. We will do as much as we can, but we will not wait for anyone. Whatever we can do on the ground as professionals, we will do.
Mashallah, thank you so much, Adin. I don't know if I cut you off. Are you gonna add some more? No.
Just letting you guys keep the show rolling.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to hear from all of you. Everyone is doing such amazing work back home and here in the States. And I agree, going back is crucial, and inshallah is all of our goal to cultivate change back home. So I just wanted to give the floor to Abdussamad. I know that he has his hand raised, and I think he has a comment on the op-eds. Feel free to unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum horta dhammaantiin aad baan idiin salaamayaa SLPA Isaaq iyo guddida safiirka iyo dhammaan professionalska ku jira groupkan waan ku cusubay horta anigu magacayga waxa la Abdulsamad Sheekh Maxamed Cartan waxaan deganahay Houston. I'm a registered petroleum engineer. My expertise mainly in oil and gas, mainly also in natural gas more specifically. And Isaaq iyo Yasin iyo Dueba iyo waxaanu laba week ka hor ayaanu ka wada hadalnay ideas ayagu ay ka fakarayeen oo ah update in la sameeyo updates. Horta intaydan meesha ku jirta waan dhageysanayo qof walbaaba meel sector buu leeyahay or there's a lot of different ways that we can all contribute back. Laakiin SLPA waa forumkii aanu isticmaalaynay iyo hadduu eebayn maayo meel aanu ka duulayno weeya oo sidaa uu sheegay safiirku inaanu is organize garayno oo qolaba kastaaba meeshii ma garanaysaa expertisekeeda tahay ama resource ay u haysato inaanu isticmaalno. Updateska soo socda insha Allah wuxuu noqon doonaa meel non-partisan ah oo research samaysa oo hadduu eebayn maayo both educators, your professionals, your local politicians, and everybody can go back to and actually see, how can we solve issues, give them ideas how to solve the issues that's really pressing in the country. Sidaa safiirku uu sheegay dee Somaliland waxay ka timi 30 sano ayay ka timi qof kastana waxa ku waajiba horta inuu barto historygiisa. Markaad historygaaga aad baratid dad waxaad ogaan kartaa meeshan u socono sidee bay 30 sano ee aan soo dhaafnay waxyaabo badan baa inoo qabsoomay waxyaabo badan baana naga dhiman sidee baa 30 sano 30 kano ka qurux badan uu ekaan karaya inaan sawirka dhisno oo dabeetana aanu qaadno actions hadduu eebaynayaan ku soo lafgaraynayno issueska hadoo inagu isbarbar dhigi mayno South Africa iyo Afrikada xataa Kenya naas barbar dhigay waayo isku duruufaan aan ahayn laakiin 4 milyan waxyaabo badan bay qaban karaya ayaga gacmo wada jir bay ku gooyaan halkii maamada Isaaq soo qaatay haddii 4 milyan isu tagaan ay waxooda maamushaan oo agriculture-kooda iyo energy-gooda iyo hadduu eebaynaayo resource-kooda maamushaan waxyaabo badan baa la qaban karaya. Waxaan ku soo gabagabeyn lahaa updateskaas inaad nagala shaqaysaan hadduu eebaynaayo podcast baan sameynaynaa sidoo kale oo sida radio-ga oo kale ah idil iyo hadduu eebaynaayo guddida ayaad hosteska iyo waxa identify garayn doona deetana in la soo casumo ilaa Somaliland professional kale ma jire waa intan 300 qof weeyaan iyo wax la mid oo aanan imikaanan haynin in 300 qof mid walba la waraysto solutionski issueska la hordhigo deetana ay ka tala bixiyaan oo podcastkaas uu noqdo 2 week ama week kasta hadduu eebaynaayo uu soo baxo oo ay ka faa'iideystaan jaamacaduhu ay ka faa'iideystaan professionalska kale ee dalka dhex jooga ay ka faa'iideystaan businessyadu oo ay ka faa'iideystaan ugu dambeyntii siyaasiyiinta heer kasta ay leeyihiin aad baan idiin salaamaya dhammaantiin
aniyo ku yara dara cabdisamadow si fiican baad u hadashay iyo aadan iyo intii ka horeysaba jazakallahu khayr runtii taasi waxa weeye waa talaabo aad u wanaagsan oo doonayna inaan qaadno insha allah memberskeena inta kalena waan usoo gudbin doonaa marka cabdisamadow yaasiin guddida kulli dhammaan kulley waxaan nahay member led organization wax kastoonu qabana memberskaan dhegeysanaa la shaqaynaa fikradii wanaagsan la wadaagnaa halkaa wax uga sii hore qaadnaa marka aad baad u mahadsantihiin idal aadan haddana kugu wareejin sidaad and I think we have a brother who raised his hand but I'll let you take from there inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Isaac, for bringing that up. I don't see a raised hand. So if there's anyone whose hand is raised, feel free to, oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Yes, go for it.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Magacaygu waa Cabdiraxmaan. Waxaan ahay nin engineer ah. Marka waxaan doonaynaa halkan I just wanted to make a point. Everyone talks about education and how important education ay u tahay marka basically waxaan ku darayuna the point uu Dr. Jamak mention gareeyay uu yiri mentoring iyo Siam also talked about education marka waxa aan ku darayay waxa jirta I've been getting questions from dadka wadankii jooga so a lot of people I know from Hargeisa, you know, they've been just asking me questions, you know, just basic stuff like I have a friend who was going to take the TOEFL and he was having, you know, problems with just figuring out, you know, how to make the payment and if there are any resources out there. And I was kind of helping him. And then I was just thinking about, I was like, what if there's actually something that can help? Because there's so many other students who are in that, you know, type of situation. They all want to, you know, take the GRE or TOEFL and they are, you know, they can do well. If they take those tests, you know, they can get good score and even might have, you know, a chance to go to schools here in the States like we all did. So, yeah, how can Americans contribute to what's happening in Somaliland? I mean, that's one thing, you know, they can contribute to, you know, giving as advice to, first of all, giving, I guess, platform for those talented individuals who, you know, want to get a better, you know, opportunity and go to, you know, like US or elsewhere just to study. So you can help, you know, just giving them mentoring. You can help even, you know, financially. There are people who are, you know, struggling, who are, they can't afford to, you know, to take the TOEFL and it's only like, or whatever test they want to take. And, you know, you can help them out, you know, by just, even if you know, give them like $10, if you put stuff together, you can, you know, help them out. So I think that's one way we can help, just, you know, if they need mentoring, if they need, you know, whatever they need, that's one way we can help.
Thank you for that input. I know we've talked about like a mentorship program, more so internal, like within the SLPA members, but we really didn't kind of brainstorm or think about a mentorship program for someone kind of back home and here. So that's something that inshallah our team will discuss further and see how we can, you know, bridge that gap. I know Dr. Jamal Musa put in the chat that he's happy to bridge, assist and volunteer for any individual group or section who's willing to support specific institutions, specific area development, government, educational, and otherwise. So we have folks back home that are willing to mobilize and are ready for that work as well. So before we go on to the next thing, and we have someone else, Khadra Ali said, I'm here in Hargeisa. I'm happy to support anyone who wants to volunteer or get involved in any projects here. We're happy to chat and share any learnings. Khadra, please email us. I know we do have, we want to make sure we're able to be that gap. So if anyone has any last minute thoughts before we...
Yeah, I have one. You guys hear me? It's Adnan Wayan.
Okay, sure.
I am a physician scientist in Rochester, New York. And I just wanted to say one point. And that one point is, you know, before you can contribute to the development of a country, you know, one of the most important things is data. And at this point, it seems there are not well curated databases, whether it's related to education quality, for example. What are the how do we perform in different sectors across, compared to standard national sort of metrics. In terms of health, I think we have that data in terms of maternal mortality, infant mortality, and all of that. But it's usually coming from non-governmental sort of entities. And one important thing is going to be really setting up, making sure that there's some Department of Labor and Statistics that's able to produce these sort of data so that all of us, when we are going in there to Somaliland to help out, we have an understanding of what's missing. And the other thing that happens is when, let's say any of us goes there and does needs assessment, and they do that needs assessment for themselves or a project they're doing, that data gets lost. And now if someone else wants to continue it, they will have to do reassessment. And that is just, reinventing the wheel. That's both taking away from implementation of actual interventions and basically creates unnecessary waste. And so honestly, if we could figure out a way to, take the software engineering teams we have here, the gentleman working on insurance, and we collaborate on figuring out a way to create accessible data source for Somaliland professionals. That would be really an important thing, and it will help the country actually to mobilize its resources and put it towards specific problems that are important for them. For example, I'll tell you, if I asked you, I'm a physician, so let's ask, if you were training doctors for Somaliland now, would you train more pediatricians or would you train cancer doctors? That question seems simple, train everybody, but it takes a lot of resources and a lot of talent to be able to produce those sort of doctors. I think what needs to be then figured out is actually how are we utilizing healthcare? Who's utilizing healthcare? What are the main diseases we're dealing with? What are the sort of visits? And so all of that data is not available. So it really creates a level of paralysis for professionals to say, this is how I can help and one individual, these are problems that are needed to be solved by institutions, not while individuals can help. But I think having groups that then work together to sort of produce this sort of thing would be important to go forward. So I just, I don't have any specific clear answer to provide, but I'm just saying be aware of that problem as we go forward, and hopefully we can bring it back up and figure out ways to resolve it in the long run, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. I kind of want to chime in. My name is Abdul Samad. I'm a devout Somalilander. And yeah, I was aware Isaac and the group when they were first starting this, and it's such a great honor to see it becoming like a really great platform where we are all coming together and talking about what we can do for our country. I have here Mr. Ahmed Musa, who is he's from Somaliland. He lived there for most of his life, and he just came here a few years ago and really started his own company. It's just like such a testament how much energy our people possess and what they can do when they see robes of opportunity. So he would like to say something.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Dhammaan waan idin wada salaamayaa akhyaarta halkan ku jirta ee aqoon-yahanada ah ee halkan isugu yimi. Magacaygu waa Axmed Siciid Muse, halkan Minneapolis baan ku noolahay, aan deganahay. Sidaa uu Cabdisamad idiin sheegay, waa muxuu ahaay few years kaasaan joogay. kolley business yar baan halkan ka bilaabay oo transportationka ah company yar oo business oo transportationka alxamdulillah still we good anu waxaan doonayaa inaan laba qodob oo qura taabto labada qodob waxa weeye halkan waxaa ku qoran sidee baynu waddankeeni dadkan America jooga ay u horumarin karaan muhiimadda horta waxa weeye haddii laba wax la helo waxaan u malaynayaa way suurtageli karaysaa intiina halkan isugu timi dadkeenii halkan jooga ayaa ka badan intiina aqoonyahaankii maanta halkan ku jirta dadka dee waddanka joogay Maraykanka jooga ayaa ka badan oo ka tiro badan sidii dadkaas loo wacyigelin lahaa loona gaarsiin lahaa waa number one qodobka labaadna waxa weeye in waxa aad maanta halkan ku wadaan oo qura ay ku ekaadaan in dee Somaliland sidaynu horumarnaa siyaasadna ay ka madax bannaanaadaan because hadda dadkeenu waxyaabo badan baa iska wada jira number one ujeedada dee halkaa ka muuqata qoraalkaas uu ku ekaado siyaasadna aynu ka madax bannaanaado dadkuna la tuso waxaan aad la sameeyey ee halkan lagu sameeyey aad baan anigu ugu farxay markaan arkay in wax la wada leeyayo qof qura aanu lahayn ama cid qura oo afkuban aanay noqon waa taqurayaan isleeyahay anigu waa muxuu hayay waxa iyo hawsha halkan laga waday soo abaabulayne aad ku soo bixiseen waqtigiina iyo maskaxdiina aad ku soo bixiseen inay ku success garoobi karaan ay success laga gaari karo qof maanta Somaliland saynu horumarinaa niceebi ma jiro laakiin dadku waxyaabo kale oo ay ku soo laraan baa jiro oo hebelo halka ka soo jeeda waxaan wato waa mashruuc wato waxaas inaan aanay dee aynu ka madax bannaanaan oo laga ay ka madax groupkan halkan laga bilaabay oo ka madax bannaanaado dadkana la tuso wax la wada leeyahay inay tahay oo aan cid gaari lahayn ujeedaduna ay tahay qood qaadis iyo jiidisu waa isku gurigeyn baa leeyahay dee in waxa quraynu rabno ay tahay in Somaliland sidaynu horumarin karno boqol fikir baa heli kartaan dadkiina aqoonyahanka qaar aan aqoon lahayn fikro cusub ama aydinaan idinku haynin ku soo biirin karaa jira marka anigu intaasaan idin oran lahaa waan ka baxay wasalaam alaykum
Okay, jazakallah khair, everyone for their points. I know that we are approaching the time that we wanted to end today's call, but we just wanted to open the floor for any questions or answers. If there's anything that, any last minute thoughts or ideas as well that you guys want to.
Can I jump in?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. So, assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. My name is Hamza Samatar, so I am one of your guests from the UK here. So I've been watching with interest and just as an observer really. So I thought I'd let all of you Americans speak and have a discussion, and then I could chip in at the end with just a couple of comments. So first of all, Adbin Matantin, thank you guys very much for organizing this. You're doing an amazing job for the Somaliland community in the US, but also for us here, because you're an example to us. And I think to see how organized and structured and united you guys are in the efforts that you're making is really inspirational. And it's motivational for us as well to see what we can do. Just a couple of comments about myself for those of you who've not met, who I've not met before. So professionally, my background is in finance. I'm an accountant by training. I worked for a number of years in the public sector. So that means the National Health Service, it means local government, public services in general. But now I work in private accountancy practice, and I'm an accountant / auditor. So other things that I'm involved with, which I'm mentioning because they will help inform some of the points that I'm going to make, is I'm the founder of the Somali Finance and Accountancy Association in the UK. So we've got about 90 to 100 accountants here, and we've just come together as a group to really just share thoughts, ideas, help each other network, and share experiences. I'm also involved in the Somaliland team UK. So we yesterday had started our 3-day conference to celebrate the 26th of June 60th year anniversary of the Somaliland's independence from the UK. So I just want to congratulate all of you and waxaan kale u hambalyeynaya dadka Somaliland joogay ee nagala soo qayb galay maanta waxaan leeyahay hambalyo waa maalin dee muhiimad weyn inoo leh dhammaanteen. And then so my personal interests, obviously being someone who works in finance, who's studied business economics, accountancy, is very much in economic development. And I've been pondering for quite a long time, what can we do as the diaspora members to contribute to development, particularly economic development, good governance. But we also live in an age of big macroeconomic changes. So automation, digitization, demographic changes. So China, India, Brazil, Indonesia, all these countries are rising up. And as a result, international trade, international economics, international politics is all changing. So from a Somaliland perspective, I think we are at a point where we need to be leapfrogging development. So going from the pastoralist society that we have been for centuries and millennia to a highly developed, knowledge-based, industrialized economy. And interestingly, the previous speakers talked about if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. So I just want to pay tribute to Bashir Goth, the ambassador, for his amazing contributions to Somali literature. I mean, I grew up reading his articles and essays. So it's amazing for him to be here with us today. And if you look back into the history of Somaliland, people talk about British Somaliland, they talk about the colonial era, and a lot of the time the discussion about Somaliland starts there. But if you actually research the socio-economic history of Somaliland, you could go back right to the 9th century, the 13th century, when we had the Adal state, the Adal Sultanate. You could go back to the 1st century AD, when you've got Roman and Greek and Arab geographers who are writing about the coast of Somaliland, about our port cities of Sayla and Berbera and His and Maid, and they existed back then 2,000 years ago as trading hubs. So every country is built by its people. So it's incredibly humbling for me to see everyone here today. We've had doctors, engineers speaking, IT professionals. And we're in a time when there's high winds of change in the world. And really we're at a critical point. We're fast running out of time because our economy at Somaliland is nearly 50% of it is based on remittances. So fundamentally, the way Somaliland is financed, if you look at the reports, the quarterly reports that are issued by the Somaliland Ministry of Finance, led by the excellent Dr. Saad Ali Shira, it shows you that basically we're an import-based economy and we finance our imports through remittances, 50%, and then 50% through the revenues that we get from livestock. Both are under threat. The first is under threat because the older population, the older generation in diaspora, they're passing on. So their contributions in terms of remittances is an ever declining pool of money. So that's declining year on year. Same with flights. Interestingly enough, if you look at the number of people who are flying to Somaliland, who are coming back from the diaspora, it's been decreasing for the past 5 years now. And that reflects the demographic trends within diaspora population. So really, we have very limited amount of time, probably 10 years, 15 years, maybe less than that, before we lose the link between the youth who were born here, so in the UK, in Holland, in Europe, in other countries, who don't have that sense of connection to Somaliland. At the point that they lose that connection, they won't be interested in sending money back home. They won't be interested in going back home to contribute towards development or knowledge, etc., because they don't see it as their homeland. They've assimilated, they've ascribed to their new identities as British, as Dutch, as French, as American. But nevertheless, Somaliland is a country that has incredible opportunities, incredible potential. We're a small country in population terms of 4 million. But if you look at the land area, we're a massive country, greater than England and Wales combined. The previous speaker just touched on being free from politics. So one of the lessons that I've learned from being involved in a lot of these sort of voluntary organizations is if you want to impact real change, if you want to have access to everyone and to have all the doors open to you, you do need to be free from politics. Siyaasaddu waxaan oran karaa way fadaraysaa dadaalka ama howlaha la galo if you're not keeping your nose clear of that. So having worked in the National Health Service, local government, the private sector, my personal view is Somaliland really needs 3 key ingredients in terms of development. And this goes back to your previous slides of how can we contribute. One is good governance. So we need to strengthen the institutions and the regulatory frameworks. It's not about the politicians, it's not about the parliamentarians. The institutions are the things that keep countries running. If you look at countries like Belgium, for example, they didn't have a government for nearly a year, 2 years, because the politicians can't decide amongst themselves, and there's dispute between the French-speaking and the Dutch-speaking people. Nevertheless, the country didn't implode. You know, they have the road agencies, they have the tax collection agencies, they have the security apparatus and agencies, which is free from and separate from politics and politicians, who only provide the leadership, the democratic leadership. So if we can build those institutions and as the diaspora have input into strengthening those institutions by having good governance, a governance code for Somaliland, for example, that would create a sustainable framework whereby we can have an ecosystem that generates independently within Somaliland sustainable economic and socio-economic growth, because our inputs and contributions are limited. Secondly, if you look at any country in history which has developed and gone from a pastoralist society, which all of the Western world, the developed world, 300-400 years ago, were basically in the same living standards of Somaliland today. If you look at the data, actually, they were poorer than Somaliland is today. They've made that leap through electrification and infrastructure development and industrialization, basically. So one of the previous speakers talked about the potential of solar power, wind power. So one of the things that Somaliland desperately needs, if we're going to have any kind of industry, any kind of economic development, is power stations. Then the third and last ingredient, in my view, is technical education. So Dr. Chamat Musa, whom I greatly respect and admire, was talking earlier about creating technical centers of excellence. Really what we need is we need to free our own minds of not just looking at the Western countries, not just looking at these other countries for knowledge, and we need to be able to create an ecosystem where we create knowledge. And you know, there's two types of people and countries in the world. There's the consumers and there's the producers. And we want to produce knowledge in a sustainable way. And you know, Siham was talking about taking a solution-based approach. So identifying what are the problems that our country is facing, the roads, the lack of power, the lack of security, the lack of recognition, and then take an academic approach and really identifying and quantifying solutions that we can put in place. All of that, in my view, if we take those tangible steps, can result in an industrialized Somaliland within the space of 10 years. But in order to do that, we need to take a systems-based approach. We need to work together from an international perspective to bring all of our groups together, because the sum of our parts is greater. So the sum of the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So I've got lots of ideas around that. I've met some incredible people through this event today. So let's all stay in touch. Let's network. Let's connect. And let's work together. So thank you so much. I know I've talked for quite a lot, so apologies.
No, thank you so much, Hamza. your contribution was very much appreciated. If folks are not members right now, or if they just want to follow up email, just so we can all stay connected, please put your email in the chat box. You can message me directly through the chat box or the SLPA page that I think Faiza right now is running. I know it's getting late for folks back home, so I was hoping Khadra can briefly speak. Feel free to unmute yourself.
Can you guys see me? Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Alaikum assalam. We can see you and hear you.
You guys can hear me? Okay, great. So my name is Khadra. Originally, I was born actually here in Hargeisa, but I grew up in Canada, Toronto, and I moved back in 2012. But I've been going back and forth, and I work here now. And the kind of work that I do is I work with an organization called Shaqadon. So we focus on employment and job creation and that kind of stuff, and really developing industries so that young people can get jobs and be stable. And also we started an innovation hub called Hargeisa Hub, and where we give out funds for young people. We have a crowdfunding platform and some other things, but really focusing on skill development and kind of like talking about all of the problems that you guys are talking about. Since I've been here, I've been dealing with those things. So that's why I'd be happy to chat with anybody who has any questions. And there are so many nuanced things that happen here that I'm involved in now. So anyway, I know it's getting late, but yeah, I just want to say hello to everybody. I see familiar faces. And actually, I posted a question on how we can expand this professional network to other diaspora professionals who would like to contribute. So that's something to think about.
Mashallah, mashallah. I don't know if you work with Mustafa and Shaqadon. That's actually my cousin. So it's great that we're all connecting. I'm just going to look through the chat really briefly. If anyone else wants to hop on and share their thoughts. Thank you to those that have sent me their email. Any last minute thoughts that people want to contribute to the conversation? All right, and just so folks know,
sorry, I think we have one other person raising his hand. Ahmed, I'm not sure if he's still there. Ahmed VYSSA might be representing an organization. Ahmed, are you there?
Yes, assalamu alaikum guys. My name is Ahmed. I'm one of your guests from Australia. Time's a bit of an interesting one, so it's a bit under, I think 4:45 Sunday morning, so bear with me. Yeah, so my name is Ahmed. Obviously grew up in Australia, I think a bit under 3 decades now. In terms of obviously great platform that you guys have put together, it's an absolute honor to be with you guys this morning. In terms of obviously the need, what I personally think Somaliland needs from the diaspora, especially in terms of the younger sort of professionals. Can you guys hear me properly?
Ahmed, yes, we can hear you, brother. If everybody can go on mute.
Yes, sorry. So I think with the way I look at Somaliland at the moment, 2 things are key. One, I think one of the gentlemen earlier spoke about it, and that's obviously the access of information. Access of information within Somaliland. I think the other one. So personally, myself, I'm from IT, so I'm mainly in the space of software as a service. And I think one of the things that I always sort of push when it comes to Somaliland is creating opportunities of think tanks that are specific to industries that can also provide, turnkey opportunities in terms of business as an investment. Because I believe it's one thing to say, obviously, that we're gonna educate a bunch of people back home, but I think job creation is where the next market is. Because as you guys can probably appreciate, every year I think 5,000 or 3,000 odd people graduate university in Somaliland, but that jobs are not available. So I think we have to literally look back at the actual the culture in terms of, Chamad Sodome is not really sustainable when it comes to the actual country. So I think in that sense, if we had like think tanks that were specific to industries, whether it was like, say, for example, in IT, and we're able to create like startups or like the actual manuals to a startup of, whatever the amount was, and that could be crowdfunded through the diaspora, platforms like this, and then we could give it like, to a bunch of people, whether it's via
I think we lost him. Hello?
Yeah, so I think one of the probably the good and the sad bit of us all being in diaspora is I think Somaliland is suffering a bit of a brain drain in terms of, if you look at the brightest people, even from Abarso or whatever it is, they're pretty much coming overseas. I do understand there's few people that do go back, but I'll speak from Australia where we're from. I think there's about 40, 50 odd engineers who came from Somaliland through Malaysia, and now Australia is home for. So I think that will always continue to happen until we create opportunities that are sustainable on the ground, whether it's through business or actual education. Technical schools are the only way we can actually get people off, the qad and the problems, the problematic problems. Like qad is obviously the greatest killer of our youth back home as well, and that's just predominantly because we become a dependent country on aid and remittance, as Brother Hamza mentioned earlier. I think those things are not sustainable. So one of my things is creating turnkey business opportunities that can be implemented by anyone back home, with minimal fundings. I don't know, whatever that amount can be. And yeah, thanks for having us as a guest as well. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
MashaAllah, we have folks from everywhere here today. Australia, that's amazing. Thank you so much for waking up so early and being a part of this call. We truly appreciate it. And thank you again to everyone that's sending me their emails. Again, we want to reinforce that this is just the beginning. This is just the start of the conversation. We really do want to, really implement some change and take some of these amazing ideas and let our leaders and folks know these ideas and actually make them happen. We don't want to take too much longer, but is there any other last minute thoughts, ideas that folks have before we kind of get into the contact information?
Aniguma jeclaan lahaa markaan soo gabagabeeyay markaad gaadhaan endka, yeah?
Okay, hiya. Alrighty, so I think we're ready for the next slide, Faiza. All right, so this is our social media information. Make sure that you are following us on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. We're on all of the platforms. We want to, again, stay engaged and continue the work. So please, screenshot this image and make sure you're connected with us. And if you're not a member, you can become a member through our website. You can find our website on any of our social media platforms. If one of the members knows it off top, they can share. But you can go to the membership tab and register there. So please register to become a member so you can stay in the know of all of our future events, future conversations, other things that we're coming up. And if you have any ideas of things that you want us to do, or if you want to get more involved, please email us, and we can do that together, inshallah.
Hello. I just want to say one quick thing before ambassador closes us off.
Yes. Can you say your name?
Yeah, my name is Abdi Samad.
I'm doing the closing remarks. I'm sorry, I'm Sobhaya.
Yeah, my name is Abdi Samad. I'm a
I know,
student.
but I'm building the future.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, my name is Abdi Samad. I came here for education. I'm like one of the students that came from Abarsa. I finished college here, studied economics. And I just want to say, like, as someone who grew up in Somaliland, lived there for like basically the majority of my life, and came here just for education, it's easy to get paralyzed when you're thinking about like, okay, like how do we develop our country? I think it's easy to get like to just think about like something grand and then get paralyzed by the thought of it. So I think one thing that will be helpful just from the get-go, when you commit yourself to like, okay, like, yeah, I have my professional commitments and whatnot, but I would like to contribute to my country to the best of my ability. I think a good start is to just think about that this is gonna be incremental, and you just wanna like put one step in front of another every time. Like instead of, like it's like the same way as like when you are very down and you feel like the entire world is weighing on you. If you think about, oh, where you fell off, the thought of getting there can just be like, okay, it's never gonna happen. But if you just ignore where you fell off and you just try to like, okay, I'm gonna try to climb out of this hole, then I think eventually you'll find yourself at the pinnacle. And I think it's the same thing for Somaliland and for our community. Like where you live now and where our country is, like there is just such a huge gap that if you just think about, okay, how are we gonna like in the next decade develop Somaliland to the point where we build basically like the next America? That's not gonna happen. Like it's just want. But what will happen is every single minute that we put in thinking about like tackling these problems, in devising a solution, in getting into action, like the tiniest thing like helps. And so like, yeah, just don't set yourself up for disappointment by thinking that like whatever you throw yourself into, you're just gonna change everything overnight. That's what, like, it's very common sense, but I think oftentimes, especially for young people, it's easy to forget. Yeah.
MashaAllah. Thank you for that comment. I 100% agree that this is, you know, going to be a long journey, and we're not going to get there right away. But inshallah, this is the first step, and we're all going to do it together. And we're, you know, the strength in numbers, as they say. I know that some of the SLPA members wanted to kind of take a moment. We have Faiza, Yassine, and Isaac here. Do you guys have any closing remarks before we give it to the ambassador?
Sure. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Yassine, and I am one of the SLPA committee, along Idil, Faiza, Isaac, and Rahma. I would like to thank everyone that came on this Zoom today. One purpose, and that purpose is to how can we work together to advance Somaliland, or to put Somaliland on the world map. I understand Bashir Golf have spoken about the past and what Somaliland have accomplished, or what Somaliland have done to get to this point today. And today is Mantana Omalin Urus, June. We're commemorating June 26th, which is, you know, a very big day in Somaliland. And I want to take this time to thank everyone. And on top of that, I want to talk about SLPA and the whole purpose of SLPA. Somaliland Professional Association is an organization that wants to bring the greatest and the brightest mind amongst our youth and professionals together to solve those pertinent issues. Like I see, we have great participation today. We have people from Australia, we have people from Europe, we have people from Somaliland, we have people in America. And this was the idea when Isaac, Faiza, Idil, and Rahma and I came together, was to bring the brightest and the greatest mind together. And so we could be on the world map. SLPA is not an organization that is just for American. It's an organization that is for all Somaliland, whatever they are. And when we created this organization, we wanted to create a platform that will bring any Somalilanders or anyone that have good intention towards Somaliland together. And one thing that we're working on right now is to create chapters. So maybe the individual in Australia, but the individual in the UK can start a chapter of SLPA in the UK or Australia or wherever you are, even in Somaliland, you know, so we could collaborate and bring those great ideas together. عربت waxay ku mahmaahaan moogtahay waxay yiraahdaan duq birta inta kulushahay ayaa la qaraaca. So imika we have time on our side. Imika Somaliland, there's a lot of things that are going on in Somaliland. There's a wind of change that's coming on, and we are the next generation. And if we don't take that step, and if we don't guide the next generation forward, all the work that a lot of Somalilanders, all the sacrifice that many Somalilanders have done will go for waste. Marka, in order for that not to happen, we need to come together, collaborate, share ideas, not only share those ideas, turn those ideas into concrete actions that we can build on, so we could set the stage for the next generation to move on. I'm gonna let the ambassador finish, give us a closing remark, and I wish the best of luck for all of you guys, and I hope to speak to you guys soon, inshallah.
aad iyo aad baad mahadsantay yaasiin. Maanta waxay ahayd arrintani arrin aad iyo aad dhab ahaantii u weyn. It was a very a great brainstorming session. Waanan arkayaa that you are spreading your wings from the USA to UK all the way to Australia. And that's a great job done, groupkiinu. Waxaan idinkaga tegayaa un laba eray oo sidii nin weyni waana kaga tegi jiraa waana idinkaga tegayo. Isku daya inaad idinku noqotaan role models oo organizationkiina ka dhigtaan a role model in unity of purpose and in unity of vision and purpose, a role model in persistence. Soomaalida hadii jeer waxa lagu yaqaan dadka Soomaaliyeed guud ahaanba intay wax bilaabaan inay ka hadhaan persistence ku inagu yar yahay. Marka a role model in persistence, and you have good examples in that. For example, in my friend Dr. Jama, and you have a good example in Asha from Bro Academy. Waad warsan kartaan oo case studies baad ka dhigan kartaan iyaga halkay soo mareen iyo persistence-kay sameeyeen iyo maanta halkay taagayiin. Be very good case studies for you. Marka a role model in professionalism, a role model in organization, a role model in excellence in general. Marka si aad u noqotaan urur that you can stand out oo ka duwanaan kartaan wixii hore u jiray oo la arki karo inaad tihiin dad ka duwan, urur ka duwan oo ku socda excellence iyo merit. Taasi waan idinku waaninayaa. Waxaa kaloo idinku waaninayaa inaad sidaan horeba u idhi division of labor aad yeelataan, that you should have a division of labor. Marka different departments sidaan horeba u sheegnay, Dr. Cadnaadno markii dambe aad sii adkeeya ah, waxay idin suurtagelinaysaa taasi in qolo walba ama division walba ama department walba uu data keeni karo, uu la xidhiidhi karo waddanka ciddii areada khusaysay, oo aad building idinku noqon kartaan resource-kii waddanka, data resource-kii waddanka aad idinku noqon kartaan. Idinku halidana dibadaha kala joogaad noqon kartaan dhab ahaantii, oo la idinku iman karo waxyaabo fara badan oo waddanka magaranaysa looga baahan yahay. Taas uman soo gabagabaynaya waxaan idinkaga tegayaa siduu aadan yidhi inaad dhammaanteen baan nahay ambassadors. Qof walba meeshu joogo aan nahay ambassadors for Somaliland. Laakiin dee aan ku noqono saan mar labaadan ku celiye by being role models in excellence, in a good organization, and in unity of purpose and vision. Hambalyo, maalin wanaagsan, shaqo qiimo laad qabanaysaan, guul baan idin rajaynayaa.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining. It's been a great meeting, and I just wanted to add in at the last minute that we will have this Zoom style town hall again, and we're going to have a specific, we're going to specify, I think one of our members, Ilhan, made a very great observation on what Somaliland needs. So we will be announcing that, inshallah, soon. So just make sure you're registered for SLPA, you get the emails, and then follow us on all the social media platforms. And yeah, just keep in touch. And as the ambassador said, inshallah, we're going to continue to divide up or like make committees that are centered toward different sectors, and so everyone can have a space for themselves to work and collaborate with themselves. So we have a lot of initiatives coming, so just make sure that you register and you keep up with us. So thank you. All right, well, thank you so much, and we'll, inshallah, we'll speak again. So have a great Saturday. Good night. Good day. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, people just calling me. They don't understand. My dude, this person.